Hello History Buffs, you are back with Legions of Caesar. Today you are going to see my second online battle as a Total War noob. As you saw in the first one, I was able to get a surprising victory, in my own personal opinion. I wasn't quite expecting my first online battle to be so one-sided. That was a big surprise for me, personally. So let's see how this second battle gets on. Hopefully, for me at least, it goes in just the same fashion, which obviously that's not going to happen. In my first battle I fought a multiplayer battle. As I understand it, I might be wrong, and if I am, please correct me. Multiplayer is the easier of the two online options. Quick battles are more for the ranked matches which are used by the online competitors. So whereas in my first battle I fought a multiplayer battle, I couldn't actually find one to join in on my second one. So here we are, is in a quick battle, which I believe is ranked. So let's see how that goes. So maybe facing a more difficult opponent. I have recently been playing a campaign as the Empire, so I chose them as my faction in this battle, just because I knew them fairly well, having gone through the campaign with them. And I will be facing my own personal favourite faction of the Lizardmen. So, battle number 2, let's see how it goes.
Okay, so let's have a look at some army comp. I have 3 units of handgunners, 3 units of halberdiers as my front line, a unit of halberdiers in reserve as well as some greatswords. I have a, Boris Todbringer as a general, an amber wizard, both of which are on horses, a Hellstorm rocket battery, some Empire Knights on my left, and some Demigryph Knights with halberds, and some Empire Knights on my far right. So let's have a look at the Lizardmen. Here we have some Feral Cold Ones, Cold One Spear Riders, some Horned Ones. We have 5 units of Skink Cohort with Javelins in the centre, couple of units of Croxigors. Then on my far right, I have some Horned Ones, some Feral Cold Ones, a Saurus Old Blood, and a Skink Priest with Beasts, both of which are on foot. Oh no, Saurus Old Blood is on a Cold One. Alright, so let's get cracking into this. The Hellstorm rocket battery is already going, so I was really set up for a anti-large faction here, and I brought my handgunners to be able to really deal with any large armoured. So looking at how outnumbered I was on my left, bringing these Empire Knights back, as well as my cav on my right. But I see an opportunity to try and get a charge in on some of their skirmishers, so I go for that. As my enemy is really starting to envelop me on my left, and starting to get concerned by that. So he's taking his skirmishers back, and bringing in his cav straight away here. Handgunners starting to open fire. These halberds moving to the left just to try and deter an attack here from this cav. And here's the first engagement of the battle. So skirmishers really getting chewed up, but these Croxigors getting straight into the mix. So I'm just trying to get that cav out of there as quickly as possible here. Hellstorm battery starting to focus on their left flank, their cav. And I now get these cav out of there. Really don't want to lose those 2 units early on in the battle. I'm going to try to focus fire on those Croxigors, trying to do some damage on those. I'm not too worried about the Skink skirmishers, but his cav manages to catch up to mine. I start to bring these halberdiers into them. Horned Ones charge into my handgunners, so I was bringing my halberdiers to try and deal with that attack. But these handgunners now being tied up and essentially taken out of the battle there, so he's managed to get rid of those. So now this has become a complete mess on my side of things. These Empire Knights are going to charge these Cold Ones to try and get rid of those, but essentially his cav charges and the mobility of his army has really destroyed any resemblance of a front line of mine in here, which is really causing me a lot of trouble. And I didn't get these guys into position fast enough. So he's now charging into my cav. I see an opportunity to try and charge into this gap here. So I try and take that. To not much success, unfortunately. It was closed up by his other cav. Croxagore is doing a lot of damage here. I brought up a Feral Manticore from my Amber Wizard. Having some success on the left with the Empire Knights and holding up a unit of Horned Ones as well as destroying a Feral Cold One, so doing okay there. But in terms of all these large units in this little pocket here, bringing over these Halberdiers to try and deal with some of this, but it's starting to look a little bit too late really. Another charge here, so he's really getting stuck into my back line. Any resemblance of a front line I've got here has been absolutely smashed. And now just starting to look like a big mess, essentially, at this point. You can see his large units just going from unit to unit of mine and essentially destroyed me at this point. With a lot of my units routing. Hellstorm rocket battery still getting a couple of shots off, but they're now routing as well. Got a few units here which I try and bring back into the battle. Hopefully just try and save some of these guys as well, who are starting to run. But as we can see, just look at all the amount of units he's got. His Croxagores are still in cracking health. He still has a lot of cav. His other Croxagores have still got a lot of health as well. Try and just hopefully save some of these guys. These handgunners going back into the battle. Some great swords going back into the battle. Got stuck in with his skink cohort again with the Empire Knights and Halberdiers, but it's not looking like it's going to be too much at this point, unfortunately. And unfortunately for me, that is looking like all she wrote. There we are, a close defeat.
So it's probably safe to say that not only did my second online battle not quite go the same way as the first one did, but the second online battle I got absolutely battered. I was expecting more of a front line against me, and I was expecting large monsters. I'm thinking your Bastiladons, your Stegodons, your Carnosaurs. So I set up a front line of Halberdiers to be able to deal with them, and instead what I faced was a very highly mobile army which had a lot of cavalry. It had the Croxagores, which although I was well equipped to be able to deal with them, I had my Halberdiers and I had my armor piercing handgunners. The mobility of his army caused me great problems. He was able to essentially dictate the battle which I fought. By putting his cavalry into two large wings, it meant that the centre, which I was trying to hold with my Halberdiers, had to move, and as soon as the gap started to appear, he was able to infiltrate those gaps and attack me from different angles. And essentially once he started to do that, I was never able to regain control of the battle. Because these gaps started appearing, he was able to get his cavalry and his monsters in towards my back line, and as his army was so mobile, it meant that the damage done by units like my Hellstorm battery, which was trying to focus on his left wing, but it almost rendered that obsolete as well. So essentially, due to the build that he had and the tactics that he used, he was able to dictate the battle, and I was never able to get control of it again. Perhaps I didn't have a game plan going into the battle like I did in the first one, where I was really thinking I'm going to stack my left wing and go for that oblique order tactic. That might have been a problem of mine, which stopped me from essentially fighting a battle that I wanted to fight. I chose my army build based on what I thought my opponent was going to bring, and then that turned out to be massively wrong. So guys, what are your thoughts on the battle? Was I naive going into this quick battle, thinking that he was going to set up with a front line and monsters? Could I have done things differently, having seen the composition of his army? Could I have chosen a different formation? Could I have tried to focus on a particular part of his army first before bringing down another part? Because clearly what happened in the battle, for me, went terribly. So guys, this is Legions of Caesar. Thank you very much for watching my second online battle. I would love to hear your thoughts on all the things that I did wrong, which I believe there's probably many. So what could I have improved on? What could I have changed to get a better outcome? And if there was anything, what do you think that I did well? Guys, I am on all social media for you to follow along. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next time.